Hi, this is another episode of Getting to Know Your Center Owners. I am so excited to be with Gina today. She is amazing. You guys, I know I've been doing this for a while, but she's been doing healing for a lot longer than I have. I learn from her whenever I talk to her. She is a beautiful soul, a beautiful being in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. If you get a chance to go see her space and her harmonic egg, you guys will be impressed. She really is balanced and lovely and wonderful. I really can't say enough good things about Gina. So Gina, welcome to Getting to Know Your Center Owners. And so you'll introduce yourself and tell us how the egg found you.
Okay, well, thanks so much. I'm excited to be here, and my name is Gina Armstrong. I am the owner of Balance on Buffalo, and the egg, we've had the harmonic egg now for about 16 months. And in that time, we've had approximately 800 people that have come through our egg. And it's kind of an interesting little story about how the egg found me. I do sound training for the Peter Hess Institute. And so I have been working with sound since 2013, actually. And the harmonic egg is really an extension of that, I feel like. And so it found me through one of my sound students, actually, when I was up in Pittsburgh. Now, Wyatt, who is a trainer for us at the Peter Hess Institute as well, he said, oh, there's this person that you really need to meet. I'll throw a dinner party and you can meet him. And that's really how it all started. And I was gifted a book that you wrote, Gail, and I read the book, and I grabbed a friend, and we traveled down to St. Louis and went to visit Tina down there, and went and had our first 2 sessions in the harmonic egg, and then went to travel to Ohio and had 2 more sessions there. And then really just decided we needed to have one of those eggs at Balance on Buffalo. And so we were the recipients of the 33rd egg, which is my lucky number. So of course we had the 33rd egg. And so we received that in March of last year. And I would say that we were super excited then, and that excitement continues to grow. And it's because of the people that are coming in and what we really get to witness. I'm super honored to be able to be a facilitator of the egg, egg tender, egg guardian, or however you want to say it. Just super honored to be able to be someone who can help kind of guide people into the egg and allow the egg to do what it's going to do. And it's super powerful just to be able to witness, even in just one session, how things can change for people. With that ANS reboot, I've seen people transform, like they go into the egg and they come out and they don't even seem like they're the same person. And they even say they don't even feel like the same person. And so then we've also witnessed people that have had multiple sessions as well, that, you know, it just keeps going deeper and deeper, and transforming deeper things down into that cellular level. So I got to see, you know, you get to meet people from a very large spectrum, people that are there because they're curious, people that want to come in for relaxation, and then people that are really there to help, you know, maybe reverse some effects from chronic pain and some other things that they're going through emotionally or mentally. and I really, it's just such a broad range of people that it can help. And so just super excited about being able to facilitate.
Well, it's been really hard for me because you and I have had these conversations where it's like I do an interview and I don't know who the audience is because there's such a broad range of people that come in, from corporate stress to chronic illness to, who knows where their background is. And so it's been really hard for me to navigate, these interviews. And that was your comments to me, which I really was like, yeah, you're right. I don't know who the audience is because it's such a broad range. So it's been a challenge, but I'm so excited that you've had so many people through there. And I remember when I was there doing the training for you guys and your staff, the Coolest Coast lady came in and did that interview. It was really fun how she went in and she was kind of saying, here's what's happening. And she was kind of almost filming inside her session. It was really fun.
Yeah, so Tina from the Coolest Coast, and she's one of our biggest fans, and so she still talks about her session. We gave her own session without recording anything after that, and she really enjoyed it as well. So, but you're right. My background is really working for 20 years as a massage therapist. Working with an MD with motor vehicle accidents. And so working on more of chronic pain and injury and stuff like that. And so what I really see a lot of is when you're working with people with chronic pain, you have a lot of guarding patterns that build up. With the harmonic egg, what I see is those guarding patterns, they just start to dissipate. And, being a massage therapist so long, those guarding patterns, they take a long time to dissipate. But what I'm seeing with the harmonic egg is that once those guarding patterns dissipate, they tend not to come back. The person comes back for another session, and that guarding pattern, it doesn't seem to be there again. The person seems to be able to get more into their playfulness again. And it's just such a joy to see, especially when they come in and they are so guarded at the very beginning. And then by the third, fourth, or fifth session, they're practically skipping down the corridor to get into the harmonic egg. And so it's that playfulness that we really lose as we age and as we experience a lot of different things that I think the egg really gives back to us. And we could all really use that, right? So, so whether we're experiencing chronic pain or not, and I also, we've been working with people with insomnia, and that's super helpful because that too, once you're not getting your sleep, it does tend to create a lot of chronic pain as well. And so it all just lends itself to people just feeling a lot better and more grounded in themselves. And once, someone's feeling better, outwardly, they can be a lot more kind. So, which is what we really need a lot more of these days. So.
Yeah, you see my shirt?
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, exactly.
I wear this a lot because I just feel like people aren't kind right now. I think they're just under so much stress. And what you said was so brilliant, because I do feel like when people leave the harmonic egg, they feel like weight has been lifted. They feel like the stress has been lifted. They feel playful again. They feel kind. They feel secure. They feel confident. And I know you've told me some stories, and that was a really cute one when you told me about the corporate person skipping down the hallway. And that just warmed my heart because, we lose that playfulness as we become adults, and everything's so serious, and it shouldn't be. We should always have that childlike playfulness.
Yeah. And I know for me, we definitely at Balance make it a point for all of us to go into the egg, the staff, and especially for me, make it a point to go in myself. As you know, as a massage therapist, I'm in people's energy, in their energy all the time, and I did not realize how much energy I actually took on from other people. And once I started going into the egg on a regular basis, I really realized how much energy I was taking on from other people, like their emotional energy. And so really, after about 6 months of really being diligent of going in the egg, I realized that I was just almost like underwater, and feeling super heavy with other people's emotional stuff. And I had trouble discerning what was other people's and what was my own. And now I don't have that trouble any longer. As long as I'm going in the egg and clearing all of that, my discernment is a lot crisper, and I just don't have that emotional roller coaster that I used to have just by being in other people's energy all day long. So
what a gift, though. I mean, what an amazing gift, because every healer in that town within an hour drive should be there, clearing themselves so they can be the best healer that they can be. But as human beings and empaths, most healers are empaths, we take on a lot of other people's stuff. And thank you for saying that, because I don't think people realize how much stuff we take on from other people. And I feel the same way as you. I used to be really, maybe not pleasant to be around, because I think I was always spinning with so many other people's things and their emotions. And then I started to realize that's not mine, and that's not mine, and that's really not mine. And so you kind of give it back, and the egg can help you with that. So that's really good. When I ran the center in Denver, they called it the Healers Center, because we had every DO that believed in that, every MD, chiropractor, massage therapist, acupuncturist, body talker, sound therapist, medium, psychic, therapist, psychologist, veterinarian, dentist, all were coming to the center. Those were my memberships, were the doctors and the healers, because they needed it bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was a great awareness for me. And I, before the egg, I thought I did my due diligence, and I would do practices and do a lot of, I had mentors that would help me clear that energy, but it was never as clear as it is when I go in the egg. So I'm super thankful for that. And I'm super thankful that I had that experience, so that my Reiki students and my other sound students and all the people that I, associate with that do one-on-one healing, or are even if they're, they're working in a dentist office, or anybody that's around somebody that is in somebody's energy. I get to share that with them, because it's a definite knowing for me right at this moment. So
I love it. Thank you so much for bringing that up. And you're always so good with that, to bring up some things that probably everybody was thinking about, but they just didn't know how to express it. I just think you're just so brilliant. I really, really appreciate it. Well, how about a story or two? Specifically, do you have something that comes to your mind that you were just blown away?
Well, one of my favorite stories that I usually will tell people is I had a woman and her son, and she did a testimonial, so I know that she won't mind me sharing. sharing this story. So her son is 26, and he's on the autism spectrum, nonverbal. And we have done some other sound stuff with him prior to the egg. And so she was wondering how he would receive that. And so she brought him in, and so just for context, he has a lanyard with a key and a card on it. And so for a stress reliever, he constantly will wave it like this. And he does that constantly. And so we put him in the egg. He sat on his mom's lap, and we closed the door and everything. And within 10 minutes, his mom said that he literally, his whole body just softened, and he stopped doing his tick. And it was normally he will only let his grandfather rub his back, but he let his mom rub his back. So it was a great bonding moment, and she was very, very thankful for that. And he was quiet the whole rest of the time when the music was playing. And I went in there for the quiet time because we weren't sure what he was going to do during the silence. And so I sat in there, and there was not a peep. He wasn't doing his thing. He was completely silent through the whole 10 minutes. After the 10 minutes, and I rang the little singing bowl and opened the door, he just had a big smile on his face and gave me the thumbs up, and he loved it. His mom loved it. Like I said, she felt it was just such a great moment for them to have that time together, and that he had just softened his body so much. And that lasted for quite a long time. And he was so happy and so calm. And so that, I love that story because there's no filter, right away, did it do something, and there's no faking that. And so that's really one of my all-time favorite stories. And then also, there's also we've worked with some people that have been on high stress jobs, that like police officers or whatever, that are always on high alert, wondering why they can't seem to relax, because they're always on that fight, flight, or freeze response type thing, and just just allowing them to get back in their bodies and start feeling is it's amazing when they actually start to feel what it feels like to be in their bodies, and to soften enough to actually be able to feel. That's such a blessing to be able to really witness that. And then I also have a gentleman too that had a bunch of childhood trauma, and the egg really shifted a lot of things for him. There's just so many there's so many really great things that have come about. The very last one I would like to talk about, though, is I did a long distance session. And prior to that, we were not advertising long distance sessions, even though, of course, I believe in them because I do Reiki and I do long distance Reiki healing sessions. But I had a woman that had called me, and she had looked at coming to do the egg. But in the meantime, her husband was on hospice for 2 weeks. And she was wondering if I would do a long distance session on him. He was not expected to live through a couple days, and so So I went and we did a session early in the morning to fit it into the schedule. And we said that we would talk at the end of my schedule for the evening, which was kind of later at night. And so she told me that during the scheduled session, that they had a woman who had gone past their room and had doubled back and said, "It's so light in here today. Can I just sit with you?" And so she sat in their room while I was facilitating that long distance session. And then for the rest of the day, people came in and out of that room and kept saying, "He's so peaceful today." And what I forgot to mention is that for those 2 weeks, he had been on a lot of medication, pain medication, because he just couldn't, he was struggling. And that whole day, he was not on any medication at all. And his wife said that he did not struggle at all. The first time he actually kind of struggled with his breath was when she was about to call me. And he was a Holocaust survivor. And she contacted me about 3 weeks later and said that he had passed, but that he never struggled again, ever. And that he had the most peaceful passing, and that he struggled his whole life because of the circumstances. And that after that egg session, that he just was peaceful. And so she was very grateful. And so after that, we, of course, started doing long distance harmonic egg sessions. So.
Well, I mean, it's such a beautiful story. All your stories were so beautiful. And I've heard these stories before, and I've also experienced them. I'm an engineer, so it's hard to put a remote session or a distance session in my head, my left brain. But it was explained to me by a Christian that they said it's no different than prayer. When you pray for somebody, you're not in the same room with them. You're just praying for them. And the egg session seems to be the remote sessions is similar to prayer. So I thought that was a really beautiful way to make it fit in my head. And as far as we've had a lot of remote sessions with people who were in hospice or they weren't well, and they passed peacefully. I think that's a big, it's a huge gift. But it's a big theme that we hear, that they were able to pass peacefully without pain. They could say goodbye to their family. They weren't on morphine, and they just had a different energy, a lightness about them. So it's a definite theme that I've heard over the years from people's depictions of what happens. And then as far as the first responders, what a gift that if we can give them some sense of peace and calm and not being stuck in that fight, flight, or freeze response. I had a first responder who came to me. She was a firefighter, and there was a fire in Westminster, Colorado, the biggest fire we've ever had. Like so many different apartment units burned to the ground. People were screaming and they were on fire. She's jumping through windows. She said, we're not even supposed to do that. So she was having PTSD and nightmares. And after 3 sessions, she said the nightmares went away. But what a blessing to be able to give her that peace back. I can't even imagine. I mean, I could never even imagine what she went through to deal with that fire, and what she had to relive. And the first responders have that situation where we could give them some peace, which is so beautiful. Thank you, Gina, so much for sharing your stories and for being here. Any last comments for your clients?
Well, so I guess what I would like to say, what I would like to say is that I feel like the egg offers that space where people can experience that stillness from within. And it's within that stillness and that silence where people can again feel connected to themselves, to community, to a higher power, whatever that would mean to them. And I feel like at this point in time, it's so needed. So I feel like that is such a gift, is to be able to just offer that space. Yeah, so.
I agree 100%. Well, we will be posting this with your contact information, how people can find you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being an egg guardian. I love you. I miss you. And I will talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it. All right.
Bye.
Be well. Be well.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right. Send your prayers. Okay. All right. Bye.